You ever notice how, I don't know, easy it is to find fault in other people, but when it comes to ourselves, we're pretty quick with the excuses? Yeah, it's something we all do. And today, we're going to dive into a really powerful way to escape what I like to call the judgment trap. So let's kick things off with a situation I guarantee we've all been in. Okay, picture this. You're driving, just minding your own business, and then bam, someone cuts you off. What's the first thing that pops into your head? It's probably something like, what an idiot. Where did you learn to drive, right? But what about when you're the one running late and you have to kind of nudge your way into traffic? Suddenly, it's a different story.
And see, right there, that's the double standard we all live with. When they do it, it's a character flaw. They're just a bad person, a terrible driver. But when we do the exact same thing, oh no, it's the situation. I'm not a bad driver, I'm just in a huge hurry. You see the difference? This little mental trick we play on ourselves, well, it has a name. And honestly, it's the root cause of so many of our arguments and frustrations.
Yeah, psychologists call this the self-serving bias. And it's exactly what it sounds like. We're like these super lenient judges for ourselves, always giving us the benefit of the doubt. But for everyone else, we're the toughest judge in the courtroom. And look, this doesn't just happen on the highway. It seeps into everything. Our families, our friendships, our jobs. It's kind of our factory default setting. But the good news is, we can rewire it.
So, that first step in rewiring our brains, it starts with a pretty vivid metaphor. Let's call it the log in your eye. It's really all about one thing: learning how to step down from that judge's seat. This whole idea is really grounded in a teaching from the book of Matthew, and it sets the stage perfectly. The warning is pretty blunt, actually. Whatever critical measuring stick you use on other people, well, get ready, because that's the exact same one that's going to be used on you. You know, we're absolute experts. Like, we have a superpower for spotting what's called the speck in someone else's eye. And that speck? It's all those tiny little faults, right? The little mistakes, the minor annoyances that we just zoom in on. We're thinking, oh, he talks so much, or she never says hello. It's like we're carrying around a microscope just to find these little flaws. But here's the crazy part. While we're hunched over our little microscope, we are completely oblivious to the giant log. I mean, picture a massive wooden beam sticking out of our own eye. And this log, this isn't some small thing. This is our own big stuff. Things like pride, a critical spirit, an unforgiving heart. And this is where it gets kind of comical, right? The whole teaching just highlights how absurd this is. I mean, can you imagine someone with a giant telephone pole sticking out of their face, trying to perform delicate eye surgery on a tiny speck of dust in your eye? It's ridiculous. It's not just useless, it's downright dangerous and, well, hypocritical. Now, the point isn't that we should never help anyone. Of course not. It's about the order of operations. You got to deal with your own log first. Okay, so that sounds great, but how do we actually do it? I mean, just telling yourself, okay, stop judging, that doesn't work. Has it ever worked for you? Me neither. We're just wired to do it. What we need is a practical 3-step reset. And believe it or not, it all starts with a feeling you probably wouldn't expect. And that feeling is something called holy despair. Now, it sounds dramatic, but I think you'll know what I mean. It's that moment where you just hit a wall. You realize, I know I shouldn't be so critical of this person, but I honestly can't stop. I just don't have it in me to love them the way I should. That feeling of total helplessness, that's not failure. That's actually the starting line. It's the exact moment we're finally ready to admit we need help. And right out of that feeling of despair comes this super practical 3-step game plan. First, you ask. Simple as that. You just admit, hey, I can't do this, and you ask for the strength you don't have. Second, you seek. Now, this is the active part. You don't just wait around. You actually go looking for ways to build bridges, to understand, to make peace. And finally, you knock. This is all about persistence. You don't just tap once and walk away. You keep knocking on that door of reconciliation until it opens. And what's really cool is that in the original text, the grammar implies a continuous action. It's not just ask once, it's keep on asking, it's keep on seeking, and keep on knocking. So this isn't a one-time fix, it's a habit. It's a process of constantly, day after day, turning our hearts away from that default setting of judgment and pointing them towards love. All right, so once we've started dealing with our own log and we've asked for the power to change, we get to the final crucial piece of the puzzle: putting what's called the active golden rule into practice. You've probably heard of the golden rule, right? It's right there in Matthew, and it's basically presented as the ultimate summary of, well, everything. But the version we see here is revolutionary, and it all comes down to one little detail. It's incredibly active.
See, most cultures have some version of this rule, but it's usually passive. It's don't do to others what you don't want them to do to you. And that's fine, right? It's about not causing harm. But the rule we're talking about here flips that completely on its head. It's proactive. It says do to others what you do want them to do to you. It's a total game changer. It's not just about avoiding bad stuff. It's about actively going out and creating good. So what does that actually look like in real life? It means we go first. That's it. We have to be the ones to act first. So often we wait, don't we? We think, well, if they're nice to me, then I'll be nice back. This rule says, nope, that's backwards. You want to be respected? Then you give respect first. You wish people would listen to you? Then you make the effort to listen and understand them first. You have to take the initiative. So let's bring this all together. We've gone from seeing our own blind spots to finding a really practical way forward. And the whole point of this journey is to completely shift how we show up in our relationships, to go from being a critic sitting on the sidelines to being an ally, right there in the trenches with people. So let's boil it down to 3 key steps for better relationships. Number 1, step down. Get out of the judge's seat and take a hard look at your own log. Number 2, seek power. Admit that you can't do this alone and ask for the strength to love people well. And number 3, act first. Put that proactive golden rule into practice. Don't wait for them. You go first. And all of this really brings us to one final personal question, because this isn't just interesting information, it's a challenge. So as you go about your day, just think about this. What one relationship in your life, maybe at home, maybe at work, what one relationship could be completely transformed if you made the choice to stop waiting for them to change and you decided to be the one who serves first, listens first, and loves first?